I am back. My wife and I just returned from our trip to Michigan, where we saw our friend Ben get married to his now wife Anna, which was a ton of fun. Traffic getting into Michigan was a bit of a horror show, but the wedding was fun. Great to see all of our friends from undergrad, and we got to do some shopping. As you can see back there, I got some of the Titan Tech stuff. But the thing I'm most excited about is this right here. That's right, I was able to find a complete sealed case of Super7's blind boxes for Godzilla, which is great because that means that there's a Shadow Mechagodzilla in here, and now it's just about figuring out which one he is. Now, the way I want to do this is to try and figure out which boxes each of the figures are in so that I can open the least amount of boxes possible. And the reason for that is because if I can open all the figures in as few boxes as possible, then I can sell the duplicate boxes I have and recoup some of the cost. And so my plan is to use this right here, which is a kitchen scale, which if you cook your own meals, you probably have one of these. If you don't, why don't you? It makes life so much easier. So I'm gonna go ahead and get started doing that and see how that goes. Okay, so on screen right about here, you'll see the weights of each of the individual boxes kind of mapped out one-to-one to what you're seeing me holding right now. So just as an example, this is the 37 low, this is the 71 high, this is the 37 high. And what I mean by the high, low, what you're seeing there is if the scale was, because it's not an exact, it only measures to the gram, no decimal places. And so if it was bouncing between 37 and 38, I said 37 high. If it was bouncing between 36 and 37, then I said 37 low. And the reason that I recorded that is because I am not really sure how the difference in plastic of the repaints affects their weight. There could be very small fluctuations. And to be honest, it's probably easier to do this with a millimeter scale. Not a millimeter scale, a milligram scale. But a milligram scale you're only going to have if you're a scientist or if you use magic mushrooms. Or both. I'm not going to judge. And so if you're looking at this, there is one that is clearly different than the others, right? There's a 55 gram box in the upper left corner. So we're going to go ahead and start with that one, I think. So that's this guy right here. And if everything is proper, this should be the Mechagodzilla. It's taped and then it's glued as well. They must really not want anybody opening these things before they buy them. And yeah, I own 3 of this guy already, so I am familiar with the shape. And there he is, Mechagodzilla Shadow. Okay, so now, for all of you at home, if you want to bring your food scale to Target and measure the box to be 55 grams, now you know. Okay, but now let's be honest. Using this method, Mechagodzilla is the easiest one in the case to figure out because there's only one of him. And so to have one measurement of 55, you've nailed it, right? He's the easiest one to find through this method. The other ones are where it starts to get a little bit dicey. Because remember, I'm trying to open these such that I open as few boxes as possible. So I'm going to start with these guys. These are the other 2 in the same row as Mechagodzilla, 71 low and 37 low. So this one should be, this is the 71 low. So I already know this is going to be a 57. Because a 57 apparently weighs I forget what you called it, a donkey weight? Or a donkey amount? Glitter. Alright, there's the glitter. Very cool. I love this glitter. I'm so glad that this wasn't the 1 out of 12, because I think this guy looks really cool. Yeah. It'll look nice to my full glitter Biolante over here. Okay, so next up is the 37 low, back row. the tape and glue combination is really throwing me off. You don't really need the tape if the thing is glued down. Okay, 37 low is Firefighter Jet Jaguar. Awesome. Super stoked to have this guy. I'm not really familiar with the Godzilla Island TV show. It's just, I guess, a funky repaint, right? I think it's a funky looking Jet Jag. So happy to have him. Okay. This is where things get kind of dicey, and it's possible that I'll pull a duplicate. So I pulled the green glitter from a 71 low. I'm going to assume that the 71... Actually, I have 270... I didn't even realize this. I have two 74s in there. I have 3 74s in there. Yeah, so actually, the grayscale one, it should be this one. Okay. And I wonder what makes it 3 more grams, the grayscale version. Maybe it's just more paint? Let's see. Yeah, 74 grams. There he is, silver screen G57. Okay, now is where things get dicey, because I need to pull the first aid, or the first responder Jet Jaguar. And this one could be a complete crapshoot. Actually, let's see. There were three firefighters, and I have 337 low, and I have 237 highs. So, oh, I'm so nervous. I'm so nervous. Okay. Why am I even taking the tape off? I've just established that the tape doesn't matter. Alright, moment of truth. Will it be the white Jet Jaguar? Ah, damn it. That's okay. Alright, I've got 2 of these guys. I've found 2 of the firefighter ones now. Pull 37 high again. No tape. Just going for it. Okay, and there we go. First aid. Is it first aid? Medical Jet Jaguar. We got him. That means pop 6 boxes to get. Can I get them all? Can I get them all in one hand? Can I get them all in one hand? There we go. Yeah, I'm really surprised to see that the green glitter and the silver screen have different weights. But that's good to know. And this now leaves me with 6 boxes that I can resell up here in Canada where these boxes are not available. And so hopefully I can sell them to other collectors at cost. I'm not looking to make money on these things, really. Now, what's exciting about this is that the next blind box series that we're aware of has 5 distinct characters, which means that we're not going to run into this issue of like the 2 Jet Jaguars having very similar weights and not being able to use the scale to figure them out, unless 2 figures in that series have very similar weights. But having done this, we have a sense of what the Mechagodzilla Shadow should weigh in the box. Minya is clearly going to be the lightest one out of all of them. So it's just going to be a matter of trying to figure out the weights of those other figures. And in fact, I might actually be able to do it now. So hold on, give me a second. Okay, so I have these guys mint on card. So I'm not going to be able to take them out to figure out their weights. But I have a couple of this guy. So I can kind of calculate what the weight of the card approximately is. And then figure out what the weights of these cards approximately are, so that I can figure out the weights of the figures, plus the weight of the boxes. Assuming they're the same boxes, we should be able to figure out what the weights of those figures will be, roughly speaking. So I don't have the Godzilla 74 or the Minya figure yet, so I wasn't able to do it with that, but I was able to figure out approximately how much the Gigan, G62, and the Mechagodzilla boxes should weigh for the next series of blind boxes. So Mechagodzilla should weigh, with the box, between 51 and 53 grams. Gigan should weigh between 83 and 85 grams, and G62, being the heaviest of the bunch, is going to land somewhere between 106 and 109-ish grams. Minya is going to be the lightest. You should be able to figure that out when you find him. I just don't have the weight for G74 right now. But if I had to venture a guess, G74 is going to weigh similarly to G62. But again, depending on the finishes, like even these 2 guys, same mold, had enough of a weight difference for us to be able to tell them apart. Overall, I think this was really successful. I'm looking forward to getting those 6 boxes into the hands of another Canadian collector, and I'm really looking forward to seeing more folks bring their kitchen scales to Target. I guess it's worth asking the question if this is a, morally acceptable way of navigating getting these blind boxes. And to that I say, if Super7 has designed these such that you can buy 10 boxes without getting the figures you want, then everything is fair game. There are going to be people that don't care about this nearly enough to bring a kitchen scale to Target and do this, but if you're serious about collecting all the figures in a series, then I think that this is completely fine, and I don't see any real issue with it. But that's just me. Feel free to let me know down below if you disagree, or if you plan on bringing a kitchen scale to Target. So thank you so much for watching, and hopefully I'll talk to you again soon.